tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you something.
We don't care.
Am I the only one that was so fed up with all this James Harden news? I can't be, right? Like, every time he went to a new team, I knew it wasn't gonna last well. And then he's been throwing a hissy fit, Daryl Morey is a liar, blah blah blah. I don't care. I mean, I would care if it was LeBron James or Giannis or someone who's won a ring and proven themselves. But what has he done? Like, I swear, as soon as I saw Harden got traded to the Clippers, I thought, wow, how long until this becomes a complete failure? And I get why the Clippers would do this. They've been the Clippers. Like, there's not much else to say. Disappointing teams, first round exits, horrible locker room chemistry. There's not much more to say than that. Every time they have been given a team capable of making the playoffs and doing really well in the playoffs, or even at that, winning the finals, they've done nothing with it. And I don't know why. Like, I swear, there's gotta be a ghost haunting them or something. Back when there was the Lob City Clippers, every time you would think, oh my god, this might actually be their year, they might go far, there was an injury or a blown lead. Then they were trashed for years. They finally got Kawhi and Paul George. Then in the bubble, they blew a 3-1 lead with playoff P hitting the side of the backboard. Then they finally make the conference finals without Kawhi Leonard, and they end up losing. Even if they are doing well and they start to gain traction, there's an untimely injury. The Clippers, once they added Russ, after the trade deadline, were finally starting to look good. And then right before the postseason, Paul George injured his knee. Then in the postseason, they win one game against the Suns. Everyone's like, whoa, maybe. And then Kawhi gets injured. With all that being said, insert the playoff choker. And now we're adding James Harden to the mix. A guy who probably only wanted to come to LA for the clubs and the partying. And he has to share the ball with Russ. Like, what's Russ gonna do now on the bench? Or even if he's a starter, there's not enough room for him. So what happens when you get injury-prone players like Paul George and Kawhi Leonard? Mix that with a guy who's never won in Russell Westbrook. And then you add a net negative in the playoffs in James Harden, aka the playoff choker. Well, it equals regular season wins. They're gonna be great in the regular season. I have no doubt about that. And they'll probably even be a top 5 seed. Maybe even higher. Maybe the number 3 seed. Who knows? But come playoff time, like it always happens, the Clippers will choke. And the curse will catch up to them. And if it doesn't, somebody's gonna shoot themselves in the foot. Whether that be James Harden, Russell Westbrook, or an untimely injury. They also gave up a lot of their wing depth, which is very scary. They gave up Marcus Morris, Nicholas Batum, and Robert Covington, who are all their backup forwards, and brought in PJ Tucker, who I think is a great player, gritty, champion kind of player. But what happens if Kawhi or Paul George inevitably goes down? Now you lose a superstar and you replace him with PJ Tucker? Like before, at least they could replace him with Marcus Morris, Nicholas Batum, Robert Covington. But now they don't have that luxury. I think James Harden does truly fit in this team very well because he finally doesn't have to be the main scorer. This is the first time in his career, well, I guess second time in his career since OKC, that he truly didn't have to be the top 1 or 2 guy. He finally has 2 guys to rely upon. So that'll be definitely interesting to see whether they can go farther in the playoffs because of that. But they've been lacking a facilitator, and that's exactly what he is. Last year he led the league in assists, and he's been a playoff choker because he's had to play really good. So now, as the number 3 option, he won't have to do as much. So where does that leave the Clippers? I'm not really worried, but I guess we'll end up seeing what happens. And for the Phillies side of it, getting 2 first-round picks, a pick swap, and 2 second-round picks for a guy who had really no leverage is an amazing haul. I don't even know how they finesse the Clippers like that. And they got a bunch of forwards that they can end up packaging or keeping who are all on one-year deals so they can add cap space in the offseason. Now, a guy like Tobias Harris is tradable. And now maybe you surround Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid with a real squad. Or you take a year off and wait till the offseason to make some moves. But one thing is for sure, they cannot waste Joel Embiid's prime. I'm very interested to see how this plays out, and I really want to hear your feedback in the comments below. How do you think this experiment will play out? What do you think Philly will do? And do you think the Clippers finally get their first ever championship? If you like this video, please subscribe and hit the like button. I hope you have a wonderful day, and peace out, everyone.